had a fantastic childhood, mate. Yeah, I was spoiled. I've got to say, I was spoiled rotten. And only child. I went to pictures, average of 3 times a week, and then on a Saturday morning.
Where was the pictures?
Rich at Clipston. Yeah, Mum worked there. She was usher at becoming general manager like of it. The owner used to come quite often. That were Eastwood. You know Sir John Eastwood? Well, he was the owner then. It wasn't Sir John then. Before he had his eggs and stuff. And he'd pull up in car, see my mum, have a cup of coffee. And, yeah, she loved it. But when I was really young, when my granddad used to be in charge of football, they used to come to my house at 91 for the tea after the match.
Who used to come? The
football team, if they were playing at home. And my job was, me and my mates, go and fetch trestles from the village, from the Methodist church, the chapel. And we'd have to sit outside on the step while these footballers got fed. My mum would feed them, and then at that time she used to do the washing as well. So, and they never left anything. Then we'd have all trestles and everything to take back. And my mum would then, on Mondays, would be boiling away all these football kit. And in winter, it used to look fabulous on line when they were frozen. It's just stand there with the arms out. And,
yeah. And what about your friendships when you were young?
I had a lot of friends at school, which I still have to this day. Like Barbara Kerry as it was then. It's Barbara Brownlee now. We were infants together, and we still knock about together today. We've just been to Tenerife together, plus other what were in class. We all got together after we all become widowed. There's about 10 to 15 of us all out at the same year and same class.
What did you used to play together at school?
Well, mostly football with us. Yeah, mostly football. In fact, I had all my teeth knocked out playing football. That were at playtime. Yeah, somebody come running round the corner and hit me straight in the mouth with the elbow, and I spit all these teeth out. Yeah, just before I went away on camp with army cadets.
So how old were you then?
This was at Samuel Baller, so it'd be about 12. And actually, it smashed these front ones, and some round here chipped them off. Yeah, they said they're too good to take out. That was school dentist. Yeah, I couldn't breathe because the nerve were hanging down. I had to snap it off. Yeah, too good, he says. Yeah, I liked school. There's one or two teachers I didn't like.
What didn't you like about them?
Well, one of them hit me and split my face. My mum went and sorted her out. She caught me with a ring straight down my face. We were rushing, went to go and have us dinner because we stopped dinners. And you said you'd go and wash your hands before you went. So I went and rushing and water's going everywhere. And she went, slapped me across the face. Not forgetting, she got this great big ring on. It went right up my face and sliced me up the face. Yeah. We had my dinner and then went and told my mum. We went down and sorted her out.
And she never hit you again?
Never hit me again. Oh, that was your mum sorted. Not what my mum had sorted her. Especially from up north, from Ashington. They'd come down. Whole family. My uncle had been drunk again. Shouting and probably bashing me auntie, I don't know what he'd done to her. And then they'd all come down and then we'd sort the beds out. Mum and Dad in their bed. Grandad would be sleeping opposite tea. My auntie would be in one bed. And then I'd be, then the daughters would be in bed. Then the rest of us would be all in one bed. About six of us in one bed. 3 at top, 3 at bottom. And it just got on with it. Yeah. We were never in. We were always up Woods, it's up near golf course. Used to fly aeroplanes and stuff up there, these model planes and things. It's up to the desert there, up there. Way. Yeah. But before you got there were all trenches from First World War, Of course, we're all in there with guns and things, bits of wood, yeah. And, I used to always play up there. I've been up pit tip as well when it were on fire. That used to be on fire. So there used to be two tips then, with buckets coming over, tipping on it. Well, that were always on fire. And, I've run down that and fucked up there a few times. Yeah. But we're always up there. We always had big swings up there as well. Same with on Highfield Road down that end. There used to be First Oak were there, Major Oak. I don't know if you ever heard. There were 7 oaks here, what went from Clipston through to Major Oak, and the one at, Robin Hood's tree thing, yeah. There were Parliament Oak and all of them. Well, if you climbed up high enough on First Oak there, Major Oak, you could see them all virtually in line. There was these 7, and well, at the side of it there was a thing we used to call it Giant's Basin. This was behind Cemetery. Well, Giant's Basin was where they apparently taken all the sand to build Clipston Village. So I was told anyway. Anyway, going back to my youth. I say I had a fabulous time, but until my dad had his accident. But then I was a teenager then. Gone up to Garibaldi and into rock and roll in a big way. Or in ambulance cadets, army cadets. I did a paper round, what nobody else would take after I finished, because it was too big. Tell you, 138 I used to take. All round top end at village I used to take. All down to river. And even I used to take Dr. Milmo. He used to crack you up, Dr. Milmo, which was the only doctor in village years ago. He used to, where people used to give you originally 2 shilling or half a crown at Christmas, Dr. Milner used to give threepence, which I'm sure it was because they had 3 papers, and I'm sure it was a penny a paper what he was giving me. But yeah.
So what could you buy with threepence?
Nothing. You could take empty bottle of beer back to beer off, and you'd get threepence for that.
Did Dr. Milmo ever come and treat you for anything?
He probably did, yeah. But he mostly come from my granddad. But he's come in his little, well, he had a Ford Pop or something like that. Anyway, he used to come in his little car, pull up, go and see to my granddad. I'm sure he never did anything. I'm sure he just talked all the time. And then when he'd finished, he always had his little glass of whiskey waiting for him, and Mum would have that, get ready. And I don't know if he was doing this at every house, but he was wondering if he could walk. And apparently he'd give you a club note if you wanted one, if you're sick note, you missed work, for $1 shilling, I've heard. Whether it's true, I don't know, so I don't admit to that. My granddad used to virtually bring me up, because my mum were always at work at Picture House then, and which I loved because I used to watch every film, and I used to go down to Pictures with my mum when she went to work, and I'd be inside, and then a U picture was any young ones could go in and watch cowboys and stuff. An A picture you had to go in with an adult over a certain age. X's I couldn't even go to them. Well, I used to be inside, you see, and all my mates would be at the door trying to get your mum to get us in. And so my mum would pop outside, see some of them what were queuing up for pictures, and say, "Can you bring such and such in?" And then we'd all sit together again. And then on a Saturday we'd be all at matinee. Sometimes a week I'd see 6 or 7 films, because there are always 2 films, you see. Start about 5 o'clock at night, and they're always an hour and a half, not like they are now, any hours, and they'd finish at first session finish at 9 o'clock after you've seen 2 films, then to show you the first film again. We'll never stop for that one. And then straight out, fish and chips. Oh no, chips, I want fish and chips. Just get chips, walk home. And but I live with my granddad all the time. Because if I didn't go to pictures, we'd be playing cards, because we used to have an old radio run by rediffusion. This is before any television. And we used to listen to that and what were coming on there. Sundays, I used to love listening on a Sunday morning, because there were always something going on. Yeah.
So was football a big part of your family's life?
Oh yeah. And because of my uncle being a professional footballer as well. But Grandad were secretary and chairman for over 30 years he were with them.
For Clipston?
At Clipston.
And your uncle, who did he play for?
Well, he played for Clipston, then he went on to play for Mansfield, and then become professional. He was a professional footballer. Yeah. But, and he always wore +4s, you know. You know what +4s are? A lot of golfers wear them. It's where they where the trousers are in the socks. But he also wore these when he was quite young, and then he'd walk in house and come on. I'm only going what my mum used to say. He'd pull these bottoms of these trousers out, and next thing there'd be all taters, apples, and all sorts falling out. We'd been pinching off at allotments. So. Yeah. But another thing I used to do with my granddad, we had my Uncle Jim had 6 greyhounds. And on a Sunday morning, we used to walk down past Vickers Pond, down to Old Clipston, where Dog and Duck is. Well, next door were a farm, a little farm belonged to Booths. And they used to go and train them there. But walking these down to Dog and Duck, or down to train them, I'd have 3. I'd only be about 10. And then something would jump up, and it'd be a rabbit or a hare running, and these wanted to go after them. I'd be hanging on to these leads. Yeah, it was a laugh. But, and then we'd go and train them, and take them back again. And then, probably during the week, there'd be a race on somewhere. And I used to say to him, "Are we going to win today, Uncle Jim?" And he'd say, "No, not today, lad." I'll say, "Why?" He says, "And they'd fill them up with water. Give too much to drink, because betting would be wrong." The betting was, if you had one what were in season, you'd leave the dog with us just outside, so it wanted to get back quick, right? And if you were betting, and if you were betting were high, you want to bring it down for the next race, so you would fill it up with water or something like that to make it overweight for the race, and it won't want to run, you see. And these were tricks what they used to do just to slow them down. And but they were never a pet. Because all they wanted to do was race, and that's what they did. But so we always had dogs and all sorts like that. Another thing about like Christmas, we always had a chicken at Christmas, which you never saw then. It wasn't like it is now. A chicken was just at Christmas. You'd have eggs, like local chap just 2 down, a bloke called, just call him Tant Gill. And he had all the chickens. And I've even saw him chop one of his heads off with an axe. And he was running around still. Yeah, madman. Little bloke he was. About as big as me, and I was about 10 then. Yeah. But, and you used to sit on back step plucking these after. But, but it was mostly beef and stuff like that we had for dinners and stuff like that then. It's opposite way now. Yeah. Yeah, we had some fabulous times. I say my granddad used to take me everywhere. I don't know how he went out. Our other cousins felt about it because he just spoilt me rotten.
How many other cousins were there?
There were 17. There were 17 I had. 17 cousins.
And did you see them?
I was doing archery and all sorts then, which I got quite good at, actually. Then started at youth club, which I went quite a few years. I started doing wrestling there. I did wrestling for about 4 years, travelling all around Notts, actually, putting exhibitions on. Then, of course, women always get in the way. I'd already been with somebody for over a year, Mary, who died very young. She died at 16, and she had an epileptic fit and died. But going further on, I met my wife at the Squinting Cat, the local pub then. Anyway, I get somebody tap me on the shoulder and said, "Richard, can you take Doris into other half?" Because she'd come down here to see her mum. So I said to her, "You want a drink, mate?" And says, "Yeah." And I said, "What's your name?" She says, "Doris." I asked about 4 times what her name was. So, Doris. I said, "It's an awful name," but anyway. We get to the bar and I says, "What would you like to drink?" She says, a cherry bee. I said, "A cherry bee? What's a cherry bee?" Because it right. Mostly women drunk baby sham or something like that then. And anyway, I got this cherry bee and then tip dancing. And 1 or 2 lads trying to chat her up, but she won't leave me. And anyway, it comes to 9 o'clock. I said, "We're going." I said, "Do you want to come with us?" And that was it then. We went to, it was actually Cold Queen dance. Yeah. That was it. What's now the welfare, what was the village hall, the main, the welfare now. Anyway, eventually she come down to live, and it just went on from there. Been with her for a few months, and asked her to marry me. Top in welfare.
Can you describe how you asked her?
You might not hear. Listen to Beach Boys. They were playing Beach Boys, one of the songs at Beach Boys in Squinting Cat. So I'm going to buy you a ring if you want to marry me. Cost me £25 for engagement ring. Never forget. Yeah, and it went on from there. And then a year later we got married. And almost 21. And Doris was just a few months younger than me. Anyway, she went at 21 because she got to ask her father's permission, who would not give permission. So right up till about a week before we got married, we still hadn't got permission. But did eventually give permission, and her father and her uncle gave her away. Yeah, wedding day was massive. 6 bridesmaids. Mum paid for everybody's drink. Nobody bought a drink at my wedding. Paid for that. She surrendered all these penny policies, insurance policies, to pay for this. This were in youth club, actually.
So you got married in Clipston?
Yeah, at Clipston Church. Best thing about that was just before, because you have to read your bands. Well, she was at work. Because she's nursing now at Mansfield General. So I have to go to church to listen to these bands. Well, before that, I'd been to see, and he was a very high church, this one what was there then. And he says, "Right, I won't marry if you're taking contraceptives." And she just started that day taking the pill. Yeah. Mother, she had a bad schooling. She couldn't, whether it was this disease, she collected it, supposed to have collected it, something while swimming in Vickers Pond, because they all used to go down Vickers Pond like a holiday down there because they couldn't afford to go away then, they would go swimming down there at a certain area down there. And my mum got something in her ear. Eventually, they think it was some sort of slug, what diseased the bone and left her totally deaf in that right side. Which she lost a lot of schooling then. But she never liked going to school, she said. I think it was because they used to make fun of her because she couldn't hear very well.
And what sort of impact did that have?
In village.
In the house? Would it be?
In their house.
In their
Yeah.
house?
Yeah. This was before it had been collected for undertaker, you see. Yeah, and my mum would go and they'd bath them, wash them all down, put pennies on the eyes, and and wait there to undertaker come and take them away. Or my mum's delivered, I know at least 3 in the village, babies in the village, because there was one just about 3 doors from where my mum lived. But that was there only because they'd come too early. You know, a nurse hadn't got there in time. Or she'd like 3/4 of the way through and a nurse had come through the door. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of bodies, got a lot of people she laid out. But they always sent for her, you see. And this is what she did in the village. And my mum then started with, in I think about 1950, she might have been a bit earlier than that, with British Legion and becoming standard bearer and carried standard for them. And she loved that.
So can you tell me the story about your mum going down to the rat hole?
Yeah, mum used to go, and her friends. My aunties used to go. In fact, Barb's mum used to go as well. Down to what we call the rat hole at Old Clipston, or King's Clipston now. And we used to get the sand. For some reason, this sand was special. And they used to eventually rub it on the legs to make it look like stockings or whatever. And then the mate would pour them a black line down the back of the leg, and to make them look like the seams of the stocking. But it's not just my mum what tell me about this. My aunties have told me about it going down there, and I thought it was quite good actually.
Wow.
Yeah, a relation called Francis Clark. He was a gillie for Queen Victoria.
Wow.
He was the next in charge after Brown, which was supposed to have had an affair with Queen Victoria and all this, whether that was true. Well, once Brown died, my relative Francis became Queen's what's the proper name? Head gillie for her anyway. He looked after her ponies and her dogs actually, and he looked after the dogs at Buckingham Palace, where he was there for 25 years service he did for her, looking after the dogs and all the saddles and everything, and and whether he took her out on the ponies I don't know, but I know he would have took her out on a pony and trap. He would have walked her with one of them. But and he lived there, and he actually died in Buckingham Palace after an operation. And the operation I've found out was removal of tonsils. And they thought everything were all right, and then all of a sudden everything went wrong and died all of a sudden. Well, Queen Victoria apparently was quite upset, and she had a headstone erected to her, to my relation, up in Braemar, where there's a big gravestone and headstone erected to her, telling you about the 25 years loyal service she gave to Queen Victoria.
Why was it erected in Braemar?
Because that's where he was come from. That was where he was born. That's where the family originated from. Plus Queen Victoria had the Balmoral there, just along the road. It's only just about 2-3 miles from there. And and that's where our family originated from there in Aberdeen.
And how are you related to Francis Clark?
Is my great-grandfather's brother's son, I think. So it's something like that anyway. Distant relative.